Howdy, this is Tom. Welcome back. Little drink here. This is good stuff, actually. Pineapple jarrito. A little on the sweet side. At my age, I don't care much for sugar, but every once in a while, it's just kind of nice to have a little something, you know? Anyway, today's presentation, which I hope to do pretty quickly, is more of an informational thing. And it's in regards to our BOVs, our bug out vehicles. Now, I'm sure for most of us, our bug out vehicles are our daily drivers. Some people have, nice jacked up Toyotas with big wheels and things like that. I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from having a nice bug out vehicle. If that's, completely up to you, your decision to make, by all means. I have a Nissan Versa, 4-door sedan, which brings me to a joke. Do you know why chicken coops only have 2 doors? Because if they had 4 doors, they'd be a chicken sedan. That's right. Anyway, so the reason I make this presentation today was some years back I had my BOV. The boys were little. I had 2 sons. My daughter had not yet been born yet. So I had a family funster. I had a station wagon, 1996 Oldsmobile station wagon. I love that car. Anyway, it was really very reliable vehicle. But that was okay. It wasn't a real nice 4-wheel drive that would climb hills, but for getting out of the city, it was good enough. It was sufficient enough. So I kept, of course, some of my preps in that vehicle. In the 3rd seat, there was the seat would flip up, and if you look down in the footwell down in there, that's where I'd stash my extra preps, and then just put the 3rd seat down flat, and it would look fairly empty. The authorities say that you shouldn't have visible items on the interior of your vehicle because it increases the propensity for the potential for theft. I've always lived, not always, I have mostly lived in very large population centers. I grew up in Southern California, which is a gigantic population center. I got to spend 2 glorious years in Idaho, which was absolutely beautiful. Almost 4 years in Wyoming, which was really beautiful. But I also spent 2 years in the Denver area, and I'm on about 17 years now in the greater Phoenix area. So the large population centers, of course, I guess is the primary thing that I'm trying to kind of warn you about, so to speak. Phoenix is a very, very large vehicle theft area. Some of the most vehicle thefts in the nation. I'm not sure how to word it. You can search it on the internet. And you can also find on the internet like the top 10 or top 20 most stolen vehicles. Anyway, as preppers, we naturally are going to have extra items in our vehicle. Not only just like road flares and a spare tire and some things, gloves for normal emergencies, like a flat tire as the case may be, or whatever, a blown transmission or something. But also some people, I carry knives, I carry food, plus other needed preps, water, of course, and things like this. I have water for the radiator and water for drinking. They're both the same, but depending on what the situation requires, I may need the extra water for drinking, or I may actually need the extra water for the radiator. Anyway, so just kind of precautionary for those preppers. Be extra cautious with your vehicle. Because of course, if you lose your vehicle, you lose everything in the vehicle, and you lose your vehicle and the thieving bastards that steal cars, they will just strip it and destroy it, or they'll joyride it and drive it off of cliffs and stuff. It's pretty common, the information you can find on what these bastards do with vehicles when they steal them. If it's worth enough, they just take it to a chop shop, but then you've also lost all your preps and all your extra stuff in your vehicle. So you want to be a little extra careful with maybe some extra theft insurance or something like that. Additionally, and not necessarily in population centers, because we know as preppers, a common theme is to kind of bug out. And yeah, I mean, naturally, being disabled, the potential for me getting out of a population center, out of the greater Phoenix area is, it's going to be 50-50. It's going to be pretty iffy on whether I can pull that off. But also, as society may or may not continue to degrade, and we potentially slip further and further towards civil war, you want to be careful, because of course that increases the potential for theft of your vehicle. Also, one kind of rabbit trail that I'd seen some preppers have a discussion on is whether you would, if you knew, so to speak, that the excrement was going to impact the air recirculation device, would you take your credit cards and drive and just charge them to the limit? And a lot of people said yes, they would. And for those of us who are still paying on our vehicles, both the credit cards and the vehicles is something we need to be aware of. Now, the man with the money almost always gets his money. It's very rare, except in the most extreme cases, that the man won't get his money. Now, granted, in normal conditions, the creditors do not want to repossess your vehicle. That doesn't mean they won't. My ex-wife, her vehicle, it's got a GPS device and an auto shut-off. So anytime she misses a payment, boom, her vehicle does not start. Mine, apparently, I guess because I'm financed through a different group, I do not have the same issues. I've missed a couple of payments and had some financial difficulties, but the vehicle has always started as it should. So you want to be careful with what's visible in your vehicle so that you don't increase the potential for theft. You want to be extra cautious about your vehicle, especially like if you're parking in a mall, if you're in a high population center, or even if you're in a low population center. As things make it worse, people leaving the population center may just be walking by your little homestead farther out in the country and decide they're tired of walking and jack your car. Also, we want to be careful with financing, because they don't want to repossess your vehicle, but it's pretty easy now with the tow trucks they have now. They just back up to your vehicle, the little forks latch onto your tires, and your vehicle's gone. It takes minutes, makes no noise, almost no noise. And under each of these instances, extra caution is required because of the preps that we all keep in our vehicles. Okay, so that was kind of long-winded, but these are the kind of discussions we should have as a prepper community. And like, share, subscribe my videos, spread them around. I shaved today. I got a decent shave because I didn't want you thinking I was a lazy bum, with all that growth after the mask video. And like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how much you like my new hairdo. And or just let's talk about prepping, or whatever you want. Okay. Remember to always keep your nose in the wind and your eyes along the skyline. Until we meet again. Bye.